As society has progressed, major advancements have been made in the fields of technology, science, medicine, and agriculture. While these advancements contribute positively to humanity's quality of life, some of these improvements have come about at the expense of the environment. Runoff is both a natural and human-stimulated process. Runoff occurs naturally through soil erosion, snowmelt, and volcanic eruptions. However, runoff caused by human activity accounts for the majority of damaging runoff. There are two sources of human runoff. The first is referred to as point source pollution. This type of pollution occurs when pollutants empty directly into a water source. Point source pollution comes from sewage plants, factories, and private residencies. The second type is called non-point source pollution. This second type occurs when chemicals are transported to a body of water by rain and irrigation. Non-point source pollution can come from urban areas or from rural areas. The biggest source of non-point chemical runoff is farms. Agriculture is one of America's biggest and most profitable industries. While the industry's productivity is to be marveled at, the productivity costs the environment greatly. Aiming to increase efficiency further, farms increase both farming area and fertilizer usage. This in turn increases the amount of chemicals washed into nearby streams, creeks, and lakes. When chemicals run into these bodies of water, the adverse effects are endless, some of which include the negative effects on the ecology within the body of water, creation of possible dead zones, and contamination of water used by other individuals for swimming, fishing, or watering crops. While regulatory agencies encourage farmers to limit the amount of runoff they cause, agencies are reluctant to actually use regulations due to a desire to perpetuate the growth and economic contributions of the agriculture industry. But, considering the negative consequences of chemical runoff, is it truly ethical to continue to allow runoff?
All right, so the question is, is a farmer who's applying chemicals to his land on a cropland ethically responsible for damage that might be caused to a animal producer downstream? And my response to that is absolutely. It's not even a question of ethics. It's a legal responsibility. He can't do anything to his land that's going to cause damage to his neighbors downstream, no more than a industry can pump toxic waste down in the stream and have that potential damage to somebody downstream. He's absolutely responsible for the activities that goes on his land, that he's not causing any kind of problems to his neighbors. However, if a farmer is buying chemicals from a reputable chemical company and he's following the label, then it's not his responsibility anymore. He is following the legal and ethical rules associated with use of that chemical, and it's the chemicals company's responsibility to have provided the directions via that label to assure that he's not going to cause any damage to his neighbors.
What is your personal view on the use of chemicals on your farm?
I prefer not to use chemicals on our farm. Not only do we have to worry about the fact that our pond drains downhill and eventually reaches our neighbor's pond, so we're concerned about their environment and that we are not passing along any harmful chemicals to their property. In addition, we care about the wildlife. We don't want them to be negatively impacted by anything that we may use on our farm.
Why does chemical runoff really matter?
Well, that's a great question also. Chemical runoff really does matter. If you think back to not so many decades ago, DDT was a chemical that farmers used on a regular basis that were not organic farmers. And what they learned was, after many years of use, after the runoff affected wildlife reservoirs and so forth, they found that it was extremely harmful to not only animals but also reptiles and fish populations.